Hola, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching. And by the way, guys, I just published a book called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to five adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very, very special guest. I had to bring him in the building. Give it up for the one and only Overflow.
Yeah, all right. The crowd goes crazy. Yo, what's going on? Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, bro. This is truly an honor. I can't believe that you've been my cousin for my whole life, and this is the first time that I'm on your podcast. That's insane, but here we are.
I'm sorry, Primo. You know, I just paid my phone bill finally, so you know, what I'm saying? I finally got the light back on, brother. Got the light back.
Hey, I'm glad to be your first guest back in action here.
Thank you, Primo. So look, I want to, share a little bit of one of my favorite moments with you. So for those who don't know, the Super Bowl weekend, my boy JP, one of the greatest people ever, he's like, look, we got to go to Caesar Palace. I said, why, brother? He said, we got to go early in the morning, show up. We go with the not Logan Paul and Jake Paul, right? We meet so many YouTubers. We're talking like Nick. I'm trying to say how you say his last name.
Nayersina.
Nayersina. Yeah. Who did? Like thank you. Who dated Sky Bree? Big timer. We also met Danny Dunham. Big guy too. So many big TikTokers. It was crazy. YouTubers. We're all there. Breakfast, chopping it up, taking pictures. Cha-ching. Crazy thing, my boy JP is funny. Danny Dunham is like, yo, you look like the manager for them, for Jake Paul and Logan Paul, right? Craziest thing, funny. Next you know, my boy Nick, he posted that video on his YouTube called like Finding My Girlfriend. Coolest video. And I'm so happy I was there in a few shots. You know, your boy, the only, you know what I'm saying? I stand out, I'm Mexican, Yes. The little short Mexican, you can't miss him. But it was so cool, dope experience. But when JP, this is the thing that gets crazy. My brother JP, Primo, he goes, guys, we have one more spot to go to. I said, where are we going? He said, we're gonna go to Cool Kicks. We go to Cool Kicks. We get free sweaters. Craziest thing ever. They gave us sweaters, recorded us. We meet the biggest YouTuber in the freaking world. We meet FaZe Rug. Coolest guy ever. So humble. Playing some basketball, shaking hands, laughing. We met Derek Fisher, basketball player, old school. And then my boy JP goes, wait, we have to stay because we got one more person coming. I said, who is it, brother? He goes, it's Ludacris. He's going to get a haircut. He goes in, Luda comes in with his afro. Yeah. Gets a haircut. We meet the manager. Crazy experience, right? I'm so happy. We leave. I'm tired. My legs are tired. We've been there for 3.5 hours. And then my brother, Primo, goes, we have one more spot to go to. And Primo, where we going? We go to US Polo. There's a big, strong security guard, really tall. He locks the door behind me. And I'm thinking I'm about to get jumped. Luckily, my Primo no jujitsu. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Take his legs, I'll take his arms. But then I find out the reason why he locked the door is because Primo got us Kai Sinet, the biggest streamer in the world. That was crazy. Short guy, funny. And we got to be in his video. Crazy thing, streaming. So that's my favorite memory with Primo. I ain't gonna lie. And what about you, Primo? What was your favorite moment in Super Bowl weekend?
Honestly, everything you just described is probably that whole thing was one of my favorite moments. I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. I think that I think that sometimes I take my life for granted a little because I do so much weird stuff. But like you just said, we film with FaZe Clan, Nelk Boys, Kai Sinet, bunch of people, right? Cool Kicks, Culture Kings, all those guys. And I mean, half that stuff was planned and then half of it wasn't, right? But I always love hearing from like a different perspective, like how crazy it was. And I appreciate that you appreciated it so much because obviously that's pretty insane. Most people wish that they could do that. And that is like a lot of my life, man, is like going around doing this dope stuff. And like I said, half of it was planned and then half of it was not planned. So in this whole life, I just did another podcast. It's not as good as this one though, just for the record.
Hey, thank you, Primo.
I got you. But we were just talking about a lot of things and how things happen so quick in this industry, and you never really know who you're going to run into, or even if you have plans, people. I don't want to say that people are flaky or that they intentionally miss out on plans or whatever, but everybody is just so busy in the industry. So you got to really catch people like in the in-between, right? So if I know that somebody's going to be here and we're supposed to meet, maybe I'll make a little bit of extra effort to try to get to where they're at, because I know that, hey, they told me that we can meet at Cool Kicks, but I know that he's going to be in the mall and he's only got a limited time. I'm going to try to go link up with him, like go out of my way to make sure that the meetup happens. And that what you saw that day and what we did that day is further proof of putting in effort gets you places, right? Yes, I have the connections. Yes, I know a lot of the people, but some of those things weren't 100% locked that we were going to be in the video or whatever. But like you said, we were in everybody's video. We filmed with everybody, and everybody's happy to see you. But everybody's just so busy, man, that making the extra effort to do it will get you most of the way. Just like you hit me up 10 times today. Hey, bro, just checking. You're going to be at the podcast? I'm like, yes, bro. And stuff like, I just blanked on like 2 podcasts yesterday that I was supposed to be on because they didn't hit me up. You know, that's not even I don't think that's necessarily anybody's fault, but I'm so busy, bro, that if I don't get reminded or whatever, things don't happen. So I appreciate that you went out of your way to check up on me and make sure that I was still available, you know? But yeah, that would be my favorite memory as well. Doing all that crazy stuff, Super Bowl weekend. That was nuts. I had a great time, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
I love it, Primo. I definitely want to hang out with you again. Like, I really, I admire the things you've done, and I've never heard anything bad about you when people like talk about JP. They always say good things. Even Nick, he's like, man, JP, your cousin, you good people. You know what I'm saying? That's what he told me. He said, you one of us now. You good. And it was just so cool, man, just to see that you bring this energy, right? You see a lot of things that a lot of people may not see. And Primo, if you could share, right? Tonight it's about you, right? Tell us a little bit about like what got you into the entertainment world, gaming, even jiu-jitsu, right? I love jiu-jitsu. So if you could share like your journey, if someone inspired you, or if it was that one connection that changed your life.
Yeah, so I guess so jiu-jitsu, for example, it's funny, I've been doing jiu-jitsu since like I think I entered my first class ever in 2006, I believe. So my dad was watching boxing, or what he thought was boxing, and at the time, he was not, I wouldn't say that he was ever a big combat sports guy, but if it was on, he would watch it, And so he's watching a boxing match, and the dude starts elbowing the guy, right? And he looks at me, he's like, Pat, he's like, that's illegal. Like, the ref's going to call this fight. That guy's disqualified. What's going on here? And he keeps watching it, and then the ref calls it, but the guy who elbowed the guy won. And my dad's like, I'm so confused. Like, what? Why? How could he win? And it was the first time that my dad had ever seen UFC. So he's like, I had no idea this existed. We're going to an MMA gym tomorrow. So we literally went and signed up at an MMA gym. I don't know if it was literally the next day, but it was like that week. We went up, we signed up at an MMA gym, and we started training. And I happen to like jiu-jitsu the most. So if you guys don't know, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is wrestling. It's basically wrestling with like joint locks and chokes. Everything that you see in the UFC that happens on the ground is jiu-jitsu. And so I started doing jujitsu pretty consistently. I was in high school at the time. So, or I was just starting high school. I think I was like 14. And so I did it, I wouldn't say consistently throughout high school, but I still trained maybe once a month or so throughout high school. And then after I graduated high school, I started training like nonstop when I was 19 or 20. And now I'm 32. So I've been doing it nonstop this whole time, which is great. But that's how I started in jiu-jitsu. And now if you look over in this top corner back here, these are actually all my belts. So that's white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. And then right here is my certificate for my black belt underneath the Gracies, which is pretty sick. Whoa. So that's how I started in jiu-jitsu.
That's so cool, man.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
No, you first.
No, I was just gonna say, did you?
I insist.
I was gonna say, like, if you ever had an incident where you had to use jiu-jitsu and like you were playing a basketball game, some dude try to pick on you, or
always happens in basketball, right? Every time. Why is that? I don't know. Basketball gets crazy aggressive out there, and I played varsity basketball. I was pretty good at basketball, So I've definitely had my fair share of cases on the court, as they say, a couple times, But actually, honestly, man, I really got into jiu-jitsu after my sports days were over, as far as high school sports. I wrestled a little bit in high school, but yeah, really, man, I've never had any instances where I really had to use jiu-jitsu too much. Maybe a few things here and there where I would have to maneuver somebody or move somebody out of the way, or separate a fight. But I've never ever had a issue where I had to physically confront somebody. And I think that I would actually, you might say, oh, so you've never used your jiu-jitsu then. But to me, I would say, actually, jiu-jitsu helped me in those situations because I had so much confidence, maybe, or so much belief in my capabilities that I didn't need to do anything physical with anybody. And I think that you present that aura when you are trained to some degree, because I've trained with, everybody, dude, everybody from Nicolas Cage, who's a famous actor, to Nick Diaz, who's a UFC fighter. We all know Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz. So I've trained with them. I actually was involved in a gang fight with Nate Diaz. So I guess that maybe that counts as a thing, perhaps. But I really feel that I don't have to use it. And honestly, I think that a lot of people, you'll notice that the guys that speak the loudest normally are the least trained guys. I think that whenever you run into a professional fighter, they're the last ones to want to get into a fight. I'm always the guy who's like this. Oh, dude, you if I bump into somebody and I spill the drink or whatever, I'm the first guy to say, hey, that's my fault. Let me get you another drink. Totally on me. I'm sorry about that. I'm always the first guy to do that. Or I'm the first guy if somebody says, hey, you were talking to my girlfriend or whatever. Bro, there's no chance that I was talking to your girlfriend. Look at you, bro. You're handsome as heck. It's not me, buddy. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I've never had to use it in a physical sense, I guess.
Wow. That's amazing.
Because I'm a good guy,
I didn't know how to tell you.
Hey, I got guys for that. No, but yeah, I've never had to use it, which is awesome. And I actually think that actually speaks to the effectiveness of learning a self-defense art or being a fighter or doing any of that. I really believe that the more you do it, the more respect you have for people and the less likely you are to get into a situation.
It's true. And Primo, can you share too, like, what got you into gaming? Because I know that's a big thing.
Yeah. So I started playing video games. The first gaming experience I really have that I remember is playing Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64 with my grandpa. So my grandpa was a big gamer as well. We played a ton of video games growing up together. I was growing up. He was already grown up, but we played a lot together, But yeah, Super Mario on the Nintendo 64 is my first gaming experience. And ever since then, man, I've just always been a gamer, dude. I've always been playing games my whole life. And so when the whole internet came about, I was like one of those kids that was on message boards I was like 13, like on GameFAQs or GameSpot, like talking about like, yo guys, I found this glitch in this game and this is how I did it, blah blah blah, like on video game forums.
Yeah.
So I was always that kid. And then just to actually bring that further, once YouTube came out, it just made so much sense for me to take what I was saying on message boards and show people on the internet. So like, for example, with Call of Duty, I was playing a lot of Call of Duty in high school. I would kind of do stuff, give people tips and tricks. This is the class that I use in Modern Warfare 2, or this is the class that I use in Black Ops. And I would make a post about it, and then I would go and make that same post. I'd make a video and put it on YouTube. And that's how I got involved in doing the YouTube thing. And really, it was just because I liked to talk to other people who enjoy gaming. And I've always been, I guess I would consider myself somewhat of a extroverted introvert, right? Extroverted introvert. Like, I'm outgoing, I would say. But I'm also very much like, I could stay in my house for a week and just play Call of Duty every day and you won't see me, So getting that outlet by posting online or posting YouTube videos really gave me the ability to kind of do both.
Wow. No, that's amazing. It's amazing because I've seen like all the stuff that you post, and like you're a great talker. I like that you know how to engage the crowd. And I saw that you were also at the eSport Awards. Like, you got to talk. I thought that was so cool. I was like, yo, my primo's in the TV. Where we at?
Yo, let's go. We're up. Yo, we made it. Mom, get the camera. First off, thank you I appreciate the compliment. And then second, I appreciate you bringing up the eSports Awards, because it was honestly one of my favorite things that I've done. And it's just so funny, man. I really appreciate looking at all this stuff that I've done, because I've done so much that in my head, the eSports Awards is like a big deal. And it is a big deal. I have the banner hanging in my living room. They gave me they brought me out. They gave me a whole bunch of stuff. They got me one of the biggest rooms. It's like I think they probably spent $10K on the room for me for the week. It's a massive room over at Resorts World. They hooked me up with all the sponsored stuff from the event. So I had like bottles of tequila. I got some left too if you want some, but I got like a bunch of stuff. I got you, buddy. And they just hooked me up, dude. And so they gave me a big banner as well. And it's hanging, it's massive. It's like 6 foot by 3 foot maybe. So it's a really big banner. It hangs in my living room. And it says, it says Overtflow Esports Awards Host 2023 on it. And I think that's super cool, man. I got to go up there and present one of the awards. I believe that I presented for, I think it was Best Esports Company of the Year or something like that. But I honestly, congrats to that guy. But for me, it was really about me. And for me, it was a big accomplishment to be up there to give a trophy away. It was very cool. I got to present with a guy named Fatality, who is an super OG, mega, super triple OG gamer in the space. I believe that he was on MTV True Life, I'm a Professional Gamer, and I think that he played Quake, I believe. So he's been at it forever. I think he's like 42 or something, but I remember watching him on MTV when I was literally in like high school or something. I was like, yo, this dude's dope. I didn't expect that one day I'll be up there with a super famous gamer delivering a trophy to a person of interest, So it was really a cool experience for me, for sure. I got to wear a suit.
Whoa, that's so cool, man. I'm even shy. I got the chills.
Yeah. Bro, it was really a really cool experience for me, man. It was definitely, I've done a lot of really dope stuff, but that to me is one of the dopest things that I've done. I hope to do more of that in the future and work more with the Esports Awards. So Esports Awards, please do not hesitate to hit my line.
I like that. That was one.
Yeah. Make my hotline bling, I think, is what they used to say.
Right. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So Primo, look, I know you've done influential boxing, and I know you want to do the next project, have like an MMA influence match. Who would be your next, like, I don't know if you already picked the guy who you want to do it with. Because I think that's genius. I think you doing an MMA fight, my opinion, is like for me it's more fun because you can throw kicks, You could take him to the ground. You could sweep him, whatever you got to do. And I know that it's just gonna be wild to see my boy, breaking it down. So, what's if you could share a little bit.
Yeah. So back in 2018, just give you a quick rundown for anybody who doesn't know me, or to give even you a rundown to refresh you, because it's been so long. In 2018, Logan Paul and KSI had a influencer boxing match. They were the headline. And then the co-main event was Jake Paul versus Deji. And then the next event was Overtflow versus FaZe Sensei, who was KSI's boxing coach at the time. I started back then. I was a Call of Duty YouTuber. I guess you could consider me a professional Call of Duty player, because I did compete a little bit. I have won, don't want to brag, I have won $10,000 playing Call of Duty, which is actually, okay, so that sounds like a lot of money, actually. But throughout my career, that's all I've won. And there's people who have literally like $1 million careers. So I'm a professional, but in a small sense. But when the whole influencer boxing thing happened, there was nobody really on the card besides Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, Deji. Besides them, nobody was really taking it super serious. It was all a bunch of like video game YouTubers. So me being a jujitsu purple belt at the time, I accepted a fight with KSI's boxing coach, who he owns karate schools. He owns self-defense schools. He's been boxing since he was a kid. I accepted a fight against FaZe Sensei when he had multiple opponents drop out. Nobody would actually fight him. So I accepted that fight, knowing that I was basically walking out to my public execution, but realizing and seeing the vision that this was going to be something big, because this first event was supposed to be really just a one-off of seeing your favorite celebrities box, right? Influencer boxing, celebrity boxing, very basically the same thing. So I accepted that fight back then. And ever since then, I've been involved in the space, whether I've been competing or behind the scenes. Now I have a company called Happy Punch, which we hold a lot of the boxing talent in the influencer space. And we also do all of the news and updates for Misfits Boxing and for influencer boxing. We actually just got ranked above ESPN as far as analytics are concerned for the boxing space. So we actually pull more numbers than ESPN boxing, which is pretty sick, super crazy, man. So those guys in Dubai who were talking about buying some of the company for millions of dollars, please call me back. All right. We've had ongoing negotiations and we're ready. We're ready to get you guys involved. Shoot, Saudi Arabia money goes wild, right? But as far as MMA is concerned, I've had 3 fights in the influencer boxing space. I've had 2 fights against professional boxers, technically speaking, and 1 fight that was simply an exhibition. So you could imagine that I am 1 win and 2 losses in the boxing space. I've only had a few months of boxing training my whole life, but I think more important than that is saying yes to opportunity. And even though I wasn't prepared physically for those boxing matches, I still got in there. I put on a show, went super viral, got a little bit of a bag, and that's what it's really about. But with influencer boxing getting so big, we have the deal with Misfits and DAZN now, which DAZN is the biggest boxing subscription service in the world. We're now looking to expand our horizons. Me being a black belt in jiu-jitsu with a tiny smidge of MMA experience, because I did used to teach at a UFC gym for ground and pound days, which is essentially take your opponent to the ground and then pound them, take them to Pound Town, shoot, buy me a drink first, but I did used to teach a little bit of that. So for me, it makes perfect sense. Once influencer MMA starts, I would be at the forefront of that. And sure enough, we got the call back in November that they want to start influencer MMA. They offered me an opponent by the name of Brandon Buckingham. He's a big YouTuber. He does documentaries. Great guy. Absolutely love him. Actually, have seen him in person. We fought on the same Misfits event, Misfits 3. He was actually the fight right before me, and then I fought right after him. So we didn't share the locker room, but our locker rooms were right next to each other. So I've gotten a lot of FaceTime with him. I've hung out with him a lot at events. And I love the guy, but he's one of the only guys that's able to make the switch from influencer boxing into influencer MMA, because he has a collegiate wrestling career. So he was a good wrestler in college, and he did one of the Misfits boxing matches. So it kind of aligns with exactly what I got going on. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I've done the Misfits boxing event. So in that whole world, a collegiate wrestler is an expert grappler. If you're wrestling all throughout high school and college, you're an expert in grappling. I've been doing jiu-jitsu. I'm an expert in grappling. A different style than wrestling, of course, but we're both about matched up in the grappling department. And then we got the little bit of boxing that we both have. We're about similar in the boxing levels. I think that I could outbox him, but that's the fight that Misfits wants to set up for the first influencer bout. It was supposed to take place in December a few months ago, but it got postponed. We were actually going to be the main event in Nashville, Tennessee, which is so funny. They were talking about doing this crazy thing. We were supposed to, like, instead of selling out an arena, we were going to make it on a farm in a barnyard with only a select group of like 250 audience members. So it was going to be crazy, but it did get pushed back. So we will be doing it sometime this year. I'm not sure if they're going to switch the opponent on me. I haven't really heard, but so much stuff in this industry is very, like we talked about at the beginning of the podcast. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Just be ready, make the effort to do it. And I'm basically just trying to stay ready. I train jiu-jitsu 6 days a week. As soon as I get the fight call, I guess I'll do a little bit of boxing for it, a little MMA boxing. But really, I'm not a great professional competitive jiu-jitsu guy in the sense of there's guys that go out there and they compete all the time. Every weekend they're competing, and that's their whole job. I'm really in the grand scheme of things, I'm really a hobbyist black belt. I do jiu-jitsu as a hobby. I have competed before, but it's not something where I'm trying to be a professional athlete in jiu-jitsu. Same as with the Call of Duty thing. Would I consider myself a professional Call of Duty player? To the general population, yes. But amongst pros, I'm really not. To the general population, I'm an expert in grappling. But amongst professional grapplers, I'm really just a baby, So I'm going to fight another influencer in the boxing space. That, like I said, has been postponed. So as of right now, I really don't have a signed deal on the table. The closest that I have to that is they asked me to be a part of the BKFC, which is the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. As you guys may know, Mike Perry is one of the champions. A bunch of people cross over from the UFC over there. Bryce Hall had a viral fight last year, and Bryce Hall is one of my friends. Really love the kid. He asked if I wanted to be on his same event with him for this BKFC thing that's happening in about 2 months, actually exactly 2 months from now. And I said, my brother, do you see these hands? These are bare, and these are knuckles. And I'll get in there. I'll give somebody some of this, and I'll get them with one of these, all right? So I agreed to do a bare knuckle fighting event. And yeah, that's what we're looking at for April. So that is the next thing I'm lying. I'm totally lying. That's in April. The next thing that I have planned, I'm not lying about the bare knuckle. That's happening. But the next event that I have planned is actually, I'm going to Thailand to fight somebody in jiu-jitsu next month in March. And then I'm doing the bare knuckle thing. So I got those two lined up.
Oh, brother, I love it. I can't wait, man. Sure. This is gonna be really cool. I gotta say, man, like, martial arts is definitely. I'm a very big advocate for it. I think that young people should learn how to protect themselves at all times. I think just people are just scared to, ask for, help, and I think it's amazing things you're doing, fam. I'm really proud of you. Like I said, this is big things, and yeah, but I'm lost of words, man, because you're doing so much, man. And here's the thing: how do you balance your life? You're doing.
I don't.
You don't.
I don't, bro. My life's a mess. My life is a complete and total mess. All right, I just gotta be honest with you. It's like probably a balance is the toughest thing that you have because I could put. Man, I wish that there was 5 of me, dude. Because I need 5 of me. One of me for my family, one of me for jiu-jitsu, one of me for content creation, one of me for management. It's just so much, and it's extremely tough to balance. And I just feel like I actually don't work enough. I need to work more to make up for the amount of me's that I don't have. You know what I mean? Balance is the most difficult thing that I have on my plate right now, to be honest with you.
Whoa. Yeah, because, man, you're always on the go. Like, ain't no way, like, you're always, I got to go to this meeting. I got this event coming up. You're always.
Dude, I know. I was thinking about it, man, and really, because like I was doing the whole Call of Duty thing, and I used to spend pretty much 12 hours a day making YouTube videos, bro. Like I have 5,000 videos uploaded, and I used to do 3 a day. So I'd wake up, film a video, edit it, do all that. I would do that all day long until I slept. And then 2018, the influencer boxing thing happened. And so I kind of did that for a little bit. And my YouTube channel at the time was going through a lull period. So I really focused on like a little bit of management stuff. And then 2019, I signed a deal with TikTok. And so for 2.5 years, or for 2 years, I was doing TikToks 3 a day, every day. And then I signed a deal with TikTok for streaming. So I was streaming every day for a year. And now since 2022, let me think, 2022, 16, halfway through 20. So for 18, 19 months now, I've really only been focused on Happy Punch and Misfits Boxing, which is the whole influencer boxing stuff. So in this last 18, 19 months, I've probably taken, I'm going to give you a rough estimate, I think 150 flights, but it might be closer to 200 flights all over the place for these boxing events, man. So I've really been busy. I actually just got asked, you know who Gary Vee is?
Yeah, he's the greatest. My boy, my Jewish brother. He's the one of the greatest talkers, and he's funny. He's like, man, I don't like that thing. You got to get better in TikTok. He's like, he's so cool white dude.
Bro, great guy, entrepreneur, early investor in Uber and Snapchat and things like that. He actually just invited me out to one of his events last year. So maybe 6 months ago, he invited me to the VCon event. So I went out there for that, and I spoke with him, and he just hit me up maybe a month ago and asked me if I wanted to come on his podcast, which is cool. So I'm supposed to go to New York for his podcast, and they had told me that it was going to be in February, but I just talked to his assistant today, and he said maybe April will do it. Or he told me, he asked when I would be available, and I told him, like, honestly, bro, I think I'm like booked until pretty much like April. I can maybe make some time to come out to New York. So I think in April, I'll be going out to New York to go to his office and do a little podcast or something with him, which is cool. But yeah, coming up, I'm going to like this in March. I'm going to, I think, Texas, Florida, and Thailand. So I got 3 weekends, and those are pretty much weekend events. So I pretty much leave on Thursday and I come back Monday. So 3 weekends out of the month I'm booked. And then April, I go to London, and I go to UK. I think I go to UK twice. So it's, my schedule's booked and I'm on flights all the time. It's actually been, it's been pretty crazy. I mean, I traveled more in the last year than I think most people will ever travel. And I'm grateful for that. And it's been such a crazy experience.
Oh, that's amazing, bro. I'm so proud of you, brother. That's so cool. Can't wait for the podcast. So look, brother, I'm gonna wrap it up because it looks like Zoom about to kick me out.
Okay.
Guys, this is the Outlet to Reality, the oldest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat's Take More Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And Overtflow, my brother, where can my fans find you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at facedirty.com. No, seriously though, Face Dirty is actually my friend. I always reference him and I say for people to follow me at Face Dirty, and he always calls me every day. He's like, who's these people following me? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I just always say that I'm you. But you can find me everywhere at Overtflow, like this, or at Happy Punch, like happy and then like a punch, So at Overtflow, at Happy Punch, you can find me anywhere.